You know what time it is? That's right. It's time to read your comments on an overpriced electronic device. Should be fun. Now, all of the comments that I'm about to read have actually come from a video that I made about a week and a half ago talking about the next Assassin's Creed game, codename Empire or Osiris according to some sources. So we're going to read your responses to that. I was giving reasons to be hyped up for it, but you guys responded offering your opinions. We're going to read some of those right now. Emerald Bay Movies says 5 reasons not to be excited. Ubisoft. I can't even say it that many times. And number 5, effing Ubisoft as well with 36 thumbs up. This is a common theme, as we shall see. Most people are incredibly distrusting of Ubisoft as a whole, and that doesn't really surprise me. They've burned a lot of bridges with the community over the last 5 years, but just the pure, people telling me that they were going to unsubscribe if I gave Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt. I was really surprised. I don't know. You guys do not like Ubisoft. Oliver Townsend says, can't wait to see all the Egyptians with British accents. I can actually agree with this one. It's totally going to happen. In Unity, which I actually have, I got it for like $5 at GameStop the other day. It's weird because it's a game set during the French Revolution. There should be no question as to the nationality or accents of the people in the game, but they all have British accents, without exception. And it's kind of like they're making these games for Americans primarily, and so they're like, yeah, well, England, France, they're kind of near each other. It's an accent from Europe. Let's just throw that in there. People won't be able to tell. I don't get it. It's not just that game. It happens a lot in the kind of Hollywood entertainment industry. I don't really understand, but it is entertaining. Tyrone Bowens, whatever it is, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, he says getting hyped for any Ubisoft game is a bad idea. Again, that's the common thread throughout a lot of you guys who took the time out to comment, was simply don't get excited for a Ubisoft game. It's a waste of time and effort, which I can't argue with you. I can only say that I haven't gotten an ancient Egyptian game really ever that was any good, and so the possibility of getting one that's even decent, I'm excited for. That's my number one reason. And I understand if you're not excited about that, or if you just don't trust Ubisoft. I get it. Oh golly, this is a long one. We're turning the iPad sideways for this one. James Royce Dawson says, just to be clear, they haven't doubled the development time. These games take 3 to 5 years to make. They're not starting the next game after the current one is out. They're developed concurrently. They gave this one extra year to give the franchise time to breathe because their sales figures were down. I'm well aware of this. Maybe in the video I accidentally said that they doubled the time. What I meant was they doubled the time between releases from 1 year to 2 years, but I'm well aware that they develop these games concurrently. It would be impossible to develop a game the scale of Syndicate, Unity, or Empire, or Osiris without taking multiple years to do it. Ubisoft is a ginormous company, and so they have multiple studios all over the world that they just say, okay, you're working on this portion, you're working there. They distribute the work out. Whatever the word would be, I can't think of it right now. Delegate. They delegate the work out to different studios all across the world, and those people all work together and they make this great game. But it does take about 3 to 4 years to make one of these, and they're usually working together. So I'm well aware of that. But the fact that they've taken an extra year is a good sign, because it implies polish that we haven't gotten before. As somebody pointed out, Battlefield 1, normally those games are on a 2-year release schedule with other teams working independently on the engine and other elements of the game, but the actual development of the game, like Battlefield 1, actually takes place over about 2 years normally. But with Battlefield 1, they actually stretched that to 3 years, and that game launched really smoothly. They did the beta, that was great. Just in general, it was a great, pretty smooth release. Very, very popular game. One of the most popular from 2016. So I think it is saying something that taking an extra year can do a lot. Lorik Sadriu says, I don't want to be racist, but I want the main character to not be black. Everything else, but not black. I'm not 100% sure how to respond to this. Okay. XCOK, Pokemon 7271 says, I wish they did had the ship fights. They had them in Egypt in the waters a lot. But P. Carlet says, no cannons or guns though. Yes, this was one thing. Apparently they're avoiding the ship battles, even though it's being made by the same team that made Black Flag. Apparently there will be ships for you to sail in through the Nile or maybe through part of the Mediterranean, but you actually are not going to be able to do ship fights, at least according to the current leaks and rumors. Which I didn't really realize why that made sense until I thought about what actually is entailed in a ship fight. And back in this time period that we're talking about, there wouldn't have been any cannons or gunpowder or anything like that. So it wouldn't have made a lot of sense, and it really would have just been a ramming battle, which probably wouldn't be that fun anyways. So I think it's okay. But it is, I mean, it's just the time period. What are you going to do? Sulan says, F that, Luke. Been watching your vids for a while now, and I agree with you on a lot, like Bethesda's F-ups. But this is Ubisoft, notorious for handing out Shostakovich. I know you liked Watch Dogs 2, but that does not make up for all the shizzle they produced. Please stay pessimistic when Ubisoft is the main subject. Again, I understand the frustration with Ubisoft, the pessimism, but like I said, I'm just excited about a game set in ancient Egypt. That's really my main reason. I just needed 4 other reasons for the video to make it more appealing to watch. Because if I just rant about stuff, nobody's going to really watch it. Unless Mr. Rahizi89 says, hopefully the Egyptians are black people. What? Egyptians weren't black. What? I've seen this a lot. People asking about, like, saying Egyptians were black. They weren't black. Egyptians for thousands of years were really physically, they look more like Coptic Christians. They didn't look black. They weren't black. The only blacks that ever ruled in Egypt were the Nubians, who ruled for just under 100 years, and they basically destroyed the Egyptian empire. They lost half of the territory, and economically it crashed. So I don't think you want to go pointing to that as like a hub of black pride or whatever you want to say, but Egyptians weren't black. I don't understand that. Silent Messenger Gun says 5 reasons. Whitewashed, 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 whitewashed Egypt. Again, like, I don't understand this. Egyptians looked more Caucasian than they did any other nationality. If anything, they looked kind of Jewish. They looked nomadic. They looked like they were from the Middle East. They didn't look black. Even in the modern day, if you go to Egypt and you call an Egyptian in Cairo black, they'll punch you. I have a friend who did that. He got punched in the face. Kind of serves him right. He's sort of a beta male, but still. And lastly, Peter Tremblay, who is a very active viewer, and I appreciate all of your feedback, Peter. Keep it up. I really love reading your comments. He says, Hi, Lukey. Now, I know why I felt from the start you were someone I can relate to, since when I was young, I was an avid reader of anything regarding ancient Egypt, and still to this day. Regarding Assassin's Creed Empire, I am unfortunately not as excited as you are with this game, since they always go the same route, same formula, and it gets old real quick, whatever the setting. Also, milking a franchise like this should be considered a criminal offense. Lol. Personally, I am from Montreal, and I have to teach students in my 3D class that I have worked on a few Assassin's Creed titles, and still I am boycotting Ubisoft crap since they treat their employees like Shostakovich. I've heard this from multiple employees, former employees, I should say, of Ubisoft, that they don't treat their employees well. You can even see it on all different online sites where you can actually review, like, what is it, Looking Glass or whatever that site is. Yeah, I mean, I understand that they don't treat their employees great, especially during crunch time before a release. That is very unsettling, and I've heard some things have been improved. I don't know if that's the case. If it continues to be, if I see another report, then I'll probably consider blowing off the game until they get their crap together. But yeah, for me, as I've said multiple times, I'm mainly excited about Ancient Egypt. That's my main excitement. I've been waiting for a good Egyptian game since I was like 3. Like, seriously, I had a game, I don't have it anymore, but I had a PC game called the, like, Mystery of the Sphinx or something. It was like $8. I got it at the half-price bookstore, and I was so excited about it. Tried to load it on my computer, which was a little like netbook PC thing, cost $300 back in the day, had a single core, ran at a gigahertz. It had a gig of RAM. It was tiny, like a 90 gig hard drive, which was huge. And I tried to play it on that thing, and it couldn't run. And then I waited a year, tried to play it on my dad's really nice laptop, ThinkPad, didn't work. Tried to put it on our PC desktop once we got one of those, didn't work. It's always frustrated me because all I've ever wanted was a good ancient Egyptian game, and I've never gotten it, and it makes me so sad. So I'm hoping this will be the answer to my many, many prayers and sleepless nights of frustration. But that's just me. Let me know what you think, if you're excited for this game, if you agree or disagree with any of the comments in here or anything I said. I love reading your comments. If you like the video, smash the like button. I just in general like reading your feedback. I don't know. I guess I don't have enough friends in real life. But yes, thank you for watching. I love you all. Peace out. Love ya. Bye.
Don't tell me not to. This never gonna get. Never gonna get.